In this specific Source Speaks transmission, we are going to explore the different body parts, the injuries or ailments that reside there, and the deeper meaning in which they hold, so that healing can happen. And you will receive this quantum healing on all levels beyond space and time, no matter when you're listening to this, when you're open to receive the vibrational offering and transmission. So get into a deep, centered, relaxed space of openness and receptivity. Finding a long spine, either laying down or sitting up straight, to open up the pathway and the portals at the crown of the head and tailbone evenly. Working with the 3 essential keys in my meditation practice, I allow myself to open and receive. So follow along with me as I connect to higher self, pure source energy, creator of all that is, the healing powers of the universe, and ascended masters, angels, guides that will assist in the process of understanding, receiving the information and guidance, and gaining a deeper perspective, more clarity. This wisdom will pulse through from a place of openness, tuning to the one channel of pure source power. So activating the pillar of light, the central pathway of the spine, crown of the head and tailbone, communicating with one another along the vertical axes. 3 inches in diameter, there's a hollow tube along the spine that can hold the energies pouring down from the heavens through our silver cord antenna, our dancing golden spirals, liquid, electric, rainbow plasma rays. And from the groundedness of the tailbone, we have a triple prong grounding cord, a rod that pulsates all the way down to the center of the earth, plugging into the crystalline core and golden codes of the new earth. Communing with the soul of the earth and our core essence, who we truly are at our core, divine blueprint, pristine nature. And let this feel good to reconnect, plugging in every day, getting sourced, getting powered, recharged, rejuvenated. This in itself will heal the spine, which overlays the endocrine system and chakra system. Then we surround ourselves with a body of light, a golden bubble. Continue letting the energies fountain out and around to cleanse the auric field, the toroidal force field. Pulling the energy up from the center of the earth and felting out through the crown of the head, washing along the edges of the body field. Every single being is in their own golden bubble. Just taking this precious 5 minutes to open, align, connect. Beautiful. Feel the Merkaba spin to the left, counterclockwise, activating the quantum field to increase the vibratory tone to match the frequency of higher self, cleansing and clearing the body field, releasing the congestion, the holding, the stuckness, the debris that comes from the external world, showering yourself every day with this golden nectar. Lighten up the field by increasing the frequency. Continue to expand the portals to receive the information and guidance both from Mother Earth and Father Sky. Call upon pure source, higher power, divine self. Connect to the wisdom keepers and frequency holders, high council, spiritual roundtable. We all have our own unique entourage, as well as the archangels, superstar angels, and quantum family available to support, love, and assist us on our healing journey, our deeper understanding and growth. Let this feel good to be surrounded by so much grace, so much love, beauty and joy is pulsing through. Feel like you're surrounded by a warm cloak of love. And from this high place, we connect to the consciousness grid of the earth and plug into the embodied family. Physical masters on the earth. We can tap into all of the knowledge and wisdom that's being held within the quantum field. Receiving these downloads, upgrading and leveling the body temple, having our focus be on the spine, the intersection between the head and shoulders, the functionality of the neck, the relationship to the nervous system, the brain stem, the structure and skeletal system and musculature around the upper body. Notice if there's tension, if there's congestion, contraction, holding. Measure the amount of stress that you are personally carrying in this area. And take inventory of any injuries or blockages that have been present in the past. Even if they've been healed in the moment now, just notice if there's scar tissue, if there's trauma, if there's any residual or leftover tension from a past situation. And let that be okay. Just notice. And feel where the body is also open and flowing. Notice if there's relaxation and ease in the muscles and the bones, in the soft tissue, connective tissue, in the nervous system. We will be focusing quite a bit on the nervous system and the energy managers of the body, the endocrine system, the interface with the lymph, with the fascia, and how memory is stored in the body, emotional memories, unprocessed experience, mental constructs, as well as a physical manifestation and injury. Many injuries will happen from a physical manifestation, and some injuries can just appear with seemingly no stimulus or external influence. There can be a buildup or saturation in the field where the body gets to a breaking point, and the reverberations through the energy systems manifest into form. Yet they cultivate and initiate from the subtle energy body. And we want to honor, revere, and respect the interconnectivity between the mental, emotional, psychospiritual, and physical realms. so many layers and levels that we don't see until they manifest in physical form. But the pattern has been playing out for a very long time. So we open up to that possibility and we heal on all levels by tapping into the quantum field and reverberating, sending the energy backwards and forwards in time to circumstances, places, spaces, situations, people. These events hold within the tissues. The issues are in our tissues, and the fascia holds the charge. There's a surface charge over the sheath of the body. This realization can be new to you, and it can also be a deeper understanding, even if you're aware of how the body stores energy, stores memory, and how we can constantly renew, cleanse, and clear through these meditation processes and activations, core activations, reclaiming the field, shedding and sloughing off old memories and experiences that have become a weight or a burden on the body systems. Honoring all levels of our being, seeing the connectivity. There is great power to this knowledge, and the neck will automatically release just by the acknowledgement. We want to deeply listen and receive the messages coming from Source, from our High Council, and all of the guidance, the impulses, the instincts, the nudges. When we ask for this help, healing, and deeper understanding, it is given automatically, instantly. And we want to feel and see and hear through the eyes and senses of Source. To do so, we must clear our minds and open up to the higher mind, quantum field, tune to that one channel, pull all the energy back to the 0 point, centering ourselves in the heart, and grounding down, staying rooted and present, centered, so that the hollow spheres of the head, heart, and womb space can harmonize and pulsate, spin at the same octave and vibratory rate. So we open up all the levels and layers of intelligence. And from this high place, we let ourselves feel the messages coming through, the insights and impulses come through as visions and as waves of emotion and feeling for me. You may hear words or thoughts. I tend to see it and feel it, and then put words to what I'm experiencing. So it's all a translation. It's always coming through my unique filters and perspective. So take what works for you and leave the rest. But know that it is possible to receive a quantum healing on all levels simply by opening up. This gesture of receptivity will make all the difference in your life, in your world, that we're all interconnected, that we're all swimming in the same sea of consciousness, and therefore we are all able to access these energies together, like the air we breathe, like the radio waves and cell phone signals that travel through the air. We're all broadcasting through our electromagnetic field. And I spin my Merkaba on turbo speed, super duper fast, in order to increase the rate in vibrational spin to match the higher self. And this also starts to increase the cellular voltage, and all the cells in the body vibrate in a dance like a blender. You can continue to raise the octave and vibratory tone, removing the wobbles to create the harmonic coding of the Golden Divine. The neck is our center of expression. The throat chakra, the thyroid, the fifth chakra, holding the color of cobalt blue. The bridge between the heart and the head. The neck has such a tremendous job to hold our head up, to allow us to turn in different directions and to look to the sides, to look up, to look down. The mobility. This communication channel and bridge between our heart-centered space and our thinking, our mind, our connection between the mental sphere and the heart sphere. The heart representing our infinite intelligence, our eternal wisdom, original 8 cells, soul matrix. The heart holds certain emotions. We'll get into a specific soul beats for the heart and head coming up very shortly in the future. There are expressions in our society like pain in the neck. A situation being a pain in the neck, causing frustration, irritation. Emotional stress tends to sit on the top of the shoulders. And the C7 joint, the hub at the base of the neck, is where the nervous system spreads out and travels down the arms from the central pathway. So this is a major intersection, this hub between neck and shoulders, and this insertion point at the occipital ridge where the neck and head meet. These are all very significant weight-bearing areas that have a tremendous job. How we hold ourselves, our posturing. Do we constantly look down, which is a mental emotional state as well as a physical position? Do we often look up? How often do we look up or keep our chin up as the expression goes? The eyes down and head tilted forward puts tremendous strain on the neck and shoulders. This is often the case for many of my clients who come in. The sitting, driving, computer, all of these habitual, repetitive habits are changing our posture and changing our relationship to the head and neck. And we must counterbalance these activities and create alignment. The central pathway of the spine, this pillar of light, is the most important channel. This is how we plug in. If our head is tilted forward, our portal at the crown of the head is disconnected from the heavens. Our antenna is not tuned to the highest channel. We can become stuck in our minds and looping within the synapses instead of receiving. The brain is just a transmitter and receiver of energy. And if our head is not perfectly placed and positioned over the body, it kinks the neck. And we cut off this main pathway for the nervous system, therefore pinching off like a straw that's bent, pinching off the nervous system, pinching off the endocrine system, the energy managers, particularly at the thyroid, which controls our mood, our attitude, our sleep, how much vitality, how energized we feel. And if the neck is kinked, that means the lower back is strained, because these two ends are like a seesaw with the heart at the apex, and they're constantly communicating with one another and connected. So when one is off, the other has to counterbalance. It's important to recognize and realize the communication that happens through the spine. Staying grounded, staying plugged into the earth, deeply rooted, is essential for the head to stay balanced on top of a stable foundation. And then there's the balance between the left and the right. Are there any torques or twists in the spine happening at the shoulders, happening at the hips? Is there levity and a buoyancy within the spine? It should be like a spring instead of there being a collapse or a weightedness from the world and from gravity. The spine can have an upliftment and an enlivening to it. All these qualities and aspects are important to recognize and to just sit with and be with and feel while I'm sharing this information and details. Notice how it feels. Notice if there is relief from this information. Notice how the body is responding to the realizations. Also notice how this information is landing in the body, if it's stimulating relief or if it's stirring up some more intensity or tension. Just notice, be present and aware of how your head is sitting over your body, how your sit bones are landing on the earth. Create a pyramid of light surrounding the entire physical form, extending to the edges of your quantum field. And this white iridescent pyramid of light will start to activate the crystalline codes, crystalline DNA. Just trust that there are upgrades, up-leveling and healing of the body temple happening through this process of alignment and meditation. And we're going to go deeper into the symbology of the throat being our center of expression. This idea of aligning our will with divine will, offering it up to divine. Imagine there being a spiraling, swirling energy like a straw sucking up the tension through the crown of the head, through your silver cord. And we're just asking for any of the excess contraction, compression, irritation, just have it be soothed and smoothed through this gigantic spiraling straw, sucking the energy up and removing the energy, sending it back to its origin and source. And at the same time, we keep draining out through the grounding cord and letting the energy sink down like we're flushing out the old, the waste, the debris. And the energy is moving in both directions. It's buoyantly rising up and it's sinking down and draining down. So we're being pulled in all directions as we expand our quantum field to make more room and space for the vertebrae, for the discs, for the connective tissue. Seeing there, imagine tiny little inflatable tires in between the discs, taking pressure off the nervous system, making more room and space in between the bones, creating more of a lightness and a levity in the spine. Every single vertebrae has a tiny little inflatable tire in between the discs. Very good. Just notice how using your visualization and imagination, how that feels, how it creates instant relief and release in the spine just by playing in the feeling realm. Feel it. Feel the body start to lift and vibrate and soften. Let's coat the entire nervous system and spine, all the structures and soft tissue, coat it all with a healing balm and golden nectar. It's like a honey pouring down through the crown of the head and soaking and saturating, soothing all of the rough edges and the ends, repairing any tears, any disconnection, rewiring the entire nervous system so it has a coating on it. It's a buffering and a soothing of the signals so that any frayed ends can be repaired. And we're plugging in and reconnecting the codes so that the endocrine system, the glands are functioning now. They're plugged back in. The chakras can spin in all directions. The energy managers are pulsating. It's like jumper cables jump starting these centers, letting them experience full power by sloughing off the congestion and the holding around them, clearing them out. That same suctioning, like a little vacuum going in there and hoovering out the density, the cobwebs around. Let's work all the energy centers together, emphasizing the throat and thyroid, because the whole spine communicates with one another, so an imbalance in one will reverberate and create an imbalance in all. If it feels good, use your hands to wipe or wash away within the subtle energy bodies, helping the field, feeling the fountain of energy through the toroidal force field, turning on the microcosmic orbit, the flow up the front of the spine and down the back. These rivers of life are flowing now throughout the bloodstream, circulatory system, arteries, veins, and valves. Speeding up the body's ability to move energy in the body, to move it all around. Very good. Balancing the left and right, the up and down. Particularly draining out through the fingertips, since we're emphasizing the neck and shoulders today. Yeah. The hands are an extension of our heart. It's the energy of our heart extends to our fingertips, and everything we touch is affected in the highest and best ways as we emanate through our electromagnetic field the qualities of love, peace, joy, harmony, understanding, forgiveness, any other qualities that resonate for you: grace, peace, coherence, happiness, health, well-being. Let it all start to pulsate around the bloodstream as we infuse the energies and qualities into the parts and pieces, creating a unification within the quantum field. Continue to let go and release the tension that lives within the connective tissue. There can be a hardening that happens from the overuse and the repetition within the neck. Let it be okay to soften and let go of the tension, allowing there to be a full expression of who you are, opening up the lines of communication, releasing the jaw and feeling the connection, the intersection between the jaw and the front of the neck, the sides of the neck. And as we continue to explore the relationship between the jaw, the neck, our breath, our expression, our speaking, our truth, flowing freely, the words, the thoughts, the emotions. Notice the interconnectivity between these areas. Clenching one's jaw will create tension in the neck, which is holding back, stifling one's speech or expression. Looking at the pattern that lives in the connection between the head, throat, and heart. This is also our pathway of how we take in and consume the tube between our mouth and our belly, and our passageway for the breath. All of this functionality concentrating itself in this hub above the shoulders and below the head. And it's understandable why tension would collect here in this small area, that bottleneck effect that happens with traffic when there is congestion. Too much going in or too much traveling out will create a contraction in the field. So we slow it all down, concentrating on the breath, initiating this quantum healing, receiving the energies that will stabilize, release and heal, optimize the function of both the energy management as well as the physical mobility. And we soften into expansion so the neck can unfurl the tension and wash it down the back, off the shoulders. Paying keen attention to the nervous system and the energy flow between the head and the rest of the body through the neck. We let ourselves move in all directions, letting our gaze flow from side to side, representing our ability to decide and make choices, wise choices. All of the symbology lives in this sacred space above the heart, below the head, the bridging of these worlds. Surrender, divine will, expression, choice. These are all the qualities, the energetic symbology of this part of the body. The regulating of the metabolism, the energy levels, sleep, these all have to do with the functionality of the thyroid. And feel the breath, feel the body's ability to take in more oxygen, fueling the blood, feeding the cells. And the throat is also our ability to take in food, traveling down the pathway from the mouth into the throat. And all of the veins and arteries that flow from the heart to the head, nourishing the brain through the pathway of the neck. The neck can be very tender or feeling vulnerable. And we give it an extra boost of love, a healing balm, surrounding it with a protective layer. Notice if the right and left sides are the same. We particularly flow energy to the vertebrae, the cervical spine, the spaces in between the bones, fluffing and filling those imaginary tires, even more air and space so the head can float above the body like a string pulling up through the very top crown of the head and creating a plumb line. So all of the physical form, the skeletal system is stacked, balanced, in harmony. And soften through the surface of the skin, through the connective tissue. Send waves of relaxation over the body to calm and cool the connective tissue, that sheath of fascia that can get cemented into place. Like soaking it in a warm bath, it will all soften with this invitation to release. Just notice how good it feels to invite in more space, giving more freedom to the movement, releasing the jaw, releasing even the tension on the scalp and the cranial bones all the way through the brainstem. Our thoughts can create tension. Our emotions can create contraction. So put it all down for this special meditation experience, this sacred time together. Just feel what it's like to take a break from so much contraction negativity and stress, fear, doubt, and worry. These are all pumped into the airwaves from the external world, and we have to be vigilant and diligent about owning our space and creating a clear bubble of safety, of sanctuary, sacred space for healing, love, positivity, peace, and joy. It starts in our heart and emanates out from there and animates the physical form. Slowing it all down now to rest back into divine self, feeling more source, making room for the blending of your being. Spirit guided, informed from the heavens, rooted and grounded into the earth. Put down the weight of the world, the troubles, the burdens you've been carrying, and release the shoulders, which affect the quality of the neck. Let your chest rise, changing your posture, looking up. That sense of upliftment that affects the emotional state. Making the commitment and taking the time to move each day, to engage with activities that strengthen, expand, and explore the body in new ways, making it enjoyable to exercise, to move, to be embodied, to play. And nourishing the body with good, healthy foods, giving it the extra nutrients and supplements it needs to function optimally. Releasing any holding or tension in the chest and expand the lungs. Notice the position of the chest. If the chest is heavy and slumped forward, that will also pull on the neck, keeping this emphasis on the specialized body part. So lift your sternum, align your spine. Balance the head perfectly. Top of your spine, and get into a position where the neck is completely relaxed and aligned. See what that feels like to hold a different shape, a different space. Get the kinks out of the straw, the spine, the pillar. Turning on the super pathway so more blood and oxygen can flow through. The energy is free to travel fluidly to the ends of your being, down to the fingertips, out to the toes, down the back, up the front, all around. If there's something that you need to say, get off your chest, express, write it down, record it, send a message, send an email, send a voice memo, whatever is necessary. Doesn't have to be to a particular person, place, or thing, but just for you. Clear it out of your mind-body matrix. Seal in your field with an electric blue trim and vibrant purple bubble, a protective layer like an electric fence, so any sort of psychic interference, external infiltration from the fear-based reality can be blocked and removed. Only allow what is truly serving you, fueling you, nourishing you into your field. Be selective and discerning as you sift through all the possibilities and probabilities of this world. Get really clear about what you're available for and make those wise choices that support your health and life-giving activities. Upliftment, inspiration. And calibrate your senses to fine-tune. Even the smallest choices matter. Every breath is a choice point. Every moment is an opportunity to renew. Continue to swirl any thoughts, any old patterns out through the crown of the head, spiral them up, give them up to your high council, source energy. Send them back to their origins, create new neural pathways and opportunities to rebirth the earth through these new synapses. The hormones come back into balance. Your relationship to sleep, to rest, to energy, to movement, to fuel. Recalibrating the whole system. Everything that's intertwined and has to do with the neck. Keeping the hollow spheres in perfect balance, centering ourselves in the chest, the head, belly, brain-belly connection. Synchronized and harmonized, so the emotions and the thoughts are all tuned to the highest and best version that you're wanting to see, hear, and live. Just for this moment now, put it all down and allow it to be so. Perfect balance and harmony. Knowing the mind, body, spirit connection is critical and crucial for your well-being. Tap into the wealth of knowledge, abundance of resources available to you through this channel of connection, plugging in, keeping your antenna extended all the way up to source, and your grounding rod all the way down to the crystalline core. It's like standing on a charging plate. The whole body is being upgraded. The neck is fortified with more strength and flexibility, the ability to see differently, to change direction, to look the other way, to focus on what you want. We're fine-tuning and stimulating the nerve path. The trillions and trillions of cells that cooperate and collaborate with one another to create the full spectrum body-temple experience that you're having. Everything flows through the nervous system. And this golden nectar, this coating over the pathways is going to calm and soothe the overstimulated parts, so they are operating more efficiently, optimizing the body's ability to heal, respond, and feel the accuracy of the stimulation. Notice the connection between the neck and the lower back. These two curvatures at the lumbar and cervical spine, with the apex in the middle of the heart. Start to let the energy pulse and flow, holding the body engaged but relaxed so movement comes naturally, removing any stiffness or tightness to allow there to be buoyancy, lightness, movement, mobility. We're placing the sacred geometrics of the double tetrahedron, Shirantra, flower of life, all overlaid and overlapping within the throat, back of the neck, sides. These golden threads, light filaments, are weaved around, strengthening, fortifying, and supporting the body's function, its ability to hold and lengthen, to be soft and firm, soft and strong, and to keep the pathways open. The communication between the heart and the mind happen through the bridge of the neck. Create an infinity loop, a rhythm wave from heart to mind and heart to belly. There is an easeful, graceful flow that happens through these channels now, honoring the intelligence of each center. May this healing happen on all levels throughout space and time, for all those who are open and willing to deeply listen and receive. Thank you.